Should a laptop control so much of your show that you can't perform without it? Let's talk about it. What's going on, everybody? My name is Adam. Welcome to the channel. My goal is to help you make good money playing music. If that sounds good to you, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss anything. So this past week, a band called Falling in Reverse got a lot of heat for canceling a show. The backstory, according to their lead vocalist Ronnie Radke, is that they had just come off the road and had this one-off date in Dallas, and they go to the rehearsal space, and the laptops that they used to run their shows were missing. Note, they did say plural laptops. This wasn't a scenario where they didn't have backups. It just happened to be that the backups also were missing. For those of you who aren't familiar with Ronnie Radke or Falling in Reverse, they're definitely a polarizing group. Ronnie specifically attracts a lot of negative attention based on the way he talks on social media, so the backlash was immediate and harsh. And whether their choice to cancel the show was justified or not, it does raise an interesting question for bands that are looking to level up their live show. Should a single piece of equipment hold so much power that you can't perform without it? This is a tough call to make for some groups. For those who may not be aware, if a band is using Ableton Live for their show, odds are it's controlling way more than just backing tracks. You can use it to send MIDI commands to change patches on your guitar gear. You can use DMX to change your lights in time with your performance. You can even send timecode to align your show with pre-recorded video content and then send that out to LED walls. It can do a whole lot. There's a reason why even bands playing stadiums and arenas are using the same software that we use. Ronnie specifically said that performing without those components was like driving a car without an engine.
What? How can a laptop be the engine of a band? If your songs are good enough, real bands don't need those kind of distractions.
Let's go ahead and put this argument to bed. This has nothing to do with lack of talent. If you don't think Falling in Reverse are talented musicians, you are clearly delusional. Hell, Luke Holland plays drums in that band. This isn't about being able to perform without backing tracks. This is about branding and entertainment. As a band, your reputation is almost exclusively tied to the quality of your live show. These guys have a well-choreographed stage show, and production is a huge component of that. Could they have gone out there raw and played their show without any of the bells and whistles? Yeah, absolutely. But the problem is that they were one of the headliners of this event. Going out there with a half-baked show would not be putting their best foot forward. Not to mention, the lack of production would have stuck out in contrast to the other headliners. It was a lose-lose situation for them. Cancel the show and take the brunt of the negative press, or play a potentially bad show and take the brunt of the negative press. So for the rest of us, what should we do? My band took the plunge into Ableton a few years back, and to be perfectly transparent, it was a rocky transition. As we got more comfortable with it though, we added more and more components for Ableton to control. And as we did that, the quality of our live show improved. Having more components of our show automated allowed us to not sweat the details as much and connect more with our audience. Now, we're just a local cover band. We don't have the high-end production components that the big bands have, like moving headlights or LED walls. But as we continue to grow and play bigger stages, those are things that we aspire to and things we would love to add to our live show. Now, we always travel with 2 laptops and a copy of our Ableton set on a flash drive. Actually, if you want to see our redundant Ableton Live setup, you can check out this video right here. But if those 2 laptops got stolen, it would probably take a couple of days for us to get a new laptop, set it up and test it enough so we could trust it to use during one of our performances. Currently, we have a third option, which is actually the way that we used to do things before we switched to Ableton, which is playing a stereo version of our backing tracks from Band Helper on an iPad. Now, it doesn't have all the transitions and cues that our Ableton Live show does, but it is a suitable facsimile in the case of a catastrophic failure where the audience would, for the most part, not notice. And if push comes to shove, we have also played without tracks at all. Because we have minimal production, we can be more agile than, let's say, a commercial group with an existing fan base who has expectations of what their show should look like. And that's the crux of the issue. If your singer loses their voice, the show's canceled, right? And this is a hot take. The same should go for your stage show. For every person complaining that bands shouldn't rely on all that fancy production and it should only be about their music, or the tired back in my day rants, there are plenty of examples of classic bands who put tons of money and resources into making sure their concerts were visual spectacles. Off the top of my head, Kiss, Dio, Motley Crue, Pink Floyd, Alice Cooper, Iron Maiden, I could go on. All of those bands understood that if they wanted people to go to their shows, they needed to be as entertaining as possible. People have got to let go of the notion that seeing a live band is just about the music. It isn't. It's about the spectacle, the experience, and the entertainment. And if you're a musician watching this going,
"That's not true. I go to shows for the musician's performance,"
you just proved my point. Here's something that you need to realize as a musician. Come close. Musicians are not the target demographic for your band. Spending time and effort on anything that doesn't make your show more entertaining to the general population is wasted time and energy. So, in conclusion, do whatever you can to make your show as entertaining as possible. Find contingencies for as many factors of your live show as you can. Take pride in the quality of your work and do not compromise if you know that you can't put on the best show possible. And always put a backup laptop in a safe inside of a hollow volcano guarded by laser sharks. What do you think? Would you have canceled your gig under similar circumstances? Leave a comment and let me know. That's gonna do it for this week. Thanks again for tuning in. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We post new videos here every single Friday. Also, if you're ready to ruin your band's show by switching to Ableton Live, check out the link in the description. There's a link to purchase an Ableton Live template already set up for backing tracks, as well as some cue packs as well. Have an awesome week, and I'll see you next time.